We're just getting started. We're just getting ready as we're preparing for the evening program.
This is Starr Radio, radio for the people, live.
As we say, good evening and welcome to the live transmission. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Are you ready to turn it up? All around the world.
As we always say, it is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
This is Starr Radio.
Are you ready to turn it
Hi guys, this is your friend Coach from Sunday. This is Starr Radio UK. Hi everyone, it's Shelby. So where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business and do your trade account. How do I start my business? How do I make the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Get all the information and tips that you need. Remember, don't let life affect you.
Online 24/7.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Wow, 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 wow. I say good evening and welcome to Niger Voices on Starr Radio UK. It is, well, I say good evening and welcome. It is the Wednesday edition. A shout out to all those that have joined us. And I say good evening to my producer, Mr. Archie, Mr. Frank David, and the rest of all the crews behind the scene. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and we are starting the program in just about a few more minutes. I welcome you as you're settling in if you're watching it for the very, very first time. And the only way you can do justice is just by sharing, the Star Radio UK program this evening. I say good evening to those of you that are watching us from different part of the world. My name is Olawumi Koiki, and I'll be taking you home tonight. I say welcome, welcome, welcome. It is the third day of the month of May. And every month of May is very, very special to my family, especially, to the Koiki family, because, everyone has one person that is very, very important, one person that has what we can call a little bit of the key, to each of us, in the family. And tonight, as we are remembering my very, very, handsome father, a father that was there for not just the family, a father that was there also for the humanity. And one thing is, each time I remember, some of what we were told about my late dad, it makes me wonder, maybe I should have just had the opportunity to spend more time with him. First and foremost, it is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Every Wednesday, this is when I come into the studio and I tell you what is happening in Nigeria. There's a lot going on. Nigeria is in West Africa, and there's a lot to discuss each time we are on air. But also, there's a lot of things going on in Nigeria that also needs to be discussed. And those things are part of why we are here every Wednesday, so that we can tell you, what you need to know. As the government is winding down, I'm talking about President Muhammadu Buhari's government. His government is literally winding down within the next couple of, probably another few more days or weeks or months, less than a month. Buhari has been in government almost 8 years now. But it seems that, his government have not really done the expectation that a lot of Nigerians wanted. And this is why we are saying now that for those of us that believe that Nigeria has expired and we need to let it go, some say Nigeria hasn't expired, we should keep Nigeria. I'm not sure why, but everybody has reasons that they want to keep Nigeria. Election was held in February 25th precisely. And I'm not sure Nigerians got what they want, in as much as, people say election can never be, the way around the situation in Nigeria. Some disagree that we should break away from Nigeria, that Nigeria has a big impact in Africa, and that literally means that we shouldn't allow Nigeria to be dissolved. But one thing is, should we remain as Nigerians, are we sure that we can get the best out of Nigeria? Because if we cannot get the best out of Nigeria, then we are literally going to end up having similar situation like we had it during the Soviet Union. If you do not remember what happened during the Soviet Union, so many countries literally came out, during that period. Some say that election is gone already and we should just move forward. And I'm asking the question, how can you move forward in a situation where people have literally been marginalized, even in the election itself? We've seen that more Nigerians have been marginalized because not everybody was allowed to vote during the election. But before we go into all that, we're also going to be discussing the news that has been trending in the last 48 hours. And I'm sure a lot of you know the news, which has got to do with Seyi Tinubu. Who is Seyi Tinubu? And what do we know in terms of, the information that has been, circulating in the last almost, 48 hours. Once again, this is
Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Star Radio UK.
I welcome you once again. My name is Alami Koiki, and like I always say, if you're joining me for the first time, this is Starr Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. This is where we discuss issues affecting almost every part of the globe. But on Wednesday, we stream it down to where we focus on Nigeria. Not just Nigeria anymore, we also discuss about the indigenous people as well. Who are the indigenous people? A very good evening to you. It is King Abraham Black. Good evening to those of you that are joining us from all the platforms from different parts of the world. One thing we can say is, should we look to Nigeria and say, maybe the British colony should have left Nigeria the way it was when they came, during the 1900s. But the British thought maybe in their own way, let us put everybody together, shut the borders, and then rename everybody. And then almost 108 years, so many Nigerians are still questioning who really we are. But in 1960, we got independent. And that independent literally means that, a lot of things happen. But before we go further, like I said, 41 years today that we, the Koiki family, always remember our late father. Also, there's a lot of birthday greetings that we'll be bringing onto the program as well. But 41 years ago, an icon died sometime around 1982 at a very, 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 very young age. I mean, if you look at the age that my dad passed on, it's, he hasn't spent as much. But I'm sure if he was alive today, he would also have aligned with somebody like his son that believed that Nigeria is not working. And I'm sure my dad will be shouting, Yoruba nation, now, Yoruba nation in his old age. But one thing is, as we remember him, we also remember the good things he did before he died, and that is why we are saying to so many of us that we are still alive, we are not going to be alive forever. We are only here for a very, very, very short time. And that means that, we should just do the best for humanity. If you think that you're going to be here forever, please think about it again. Let us do the best before we all pass on, because one day, more people will remember us. Good evening to you, Gani Oloyede, and those of you that are watching us on the Starr Radio UK network and the sister broadcast as well. But my dad loved these particular artists called Ebenezer Obey. Let's get a little bit from Ebenezer Obey. And I'm going to take that back a little bit. That is just too fast for me. We're going to take that back in just about a few minutes. I missed my dad's name there now. Ebenezer Obe, I go fight you now. Kilo Sheleke. Determination is for life. Self-determination is not a crime. At 6:30, we go straight into the program, but for now, it's all about my dad. God bless his soul and the soul of everyone that have lost one parent or the other. And a big shout out to my mom that just came back from Benin Republic. I might give her a call. Maybe she might tell us a little bit of what she brought from Benin Republic. We might do that maybe later on in the due course of the program. going very well. Not anymore in Nigeria. Nigeria remains the capital poverty of the world. Nigeria insecurity. Buhari says, I have done my best, and my best is what I can do. So as we leave that now, let's come back to reality. There's now a lot to discuss. Thank you so much to Ebenezer Obey for that very powerful music right there. And now we are back into the conversation. There's a lot to discuss. There's a lot happening in Nigeria. And let me say this to those of you that still believe in Nigeria. There's nothing wrong to believe in Nigeria. But for some of us, we are just not believing in Nigeria anymore. It's not what to believe in Nigeria. Nigeria is not what to be believed. So for those of you that still think that you believe in Nigeria, there's nothing wrong to believe in Nigeria. Now, let me come back to reality. What is the reality on the ground? There is a lot going on in Nigeria. A lot. But before we go into the discussion, remember, this is
Welcome. All around the world.
And as we say all the time, it is still Starr Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
You can listen to us by just downloading the apps. If you have not followed us on our Twitter, you might want to do that now. Go on Twitter, because Twitter is part of the engagement of the new world. And if you're not on Twitter, I don't know what you're doing, because Twitter has what it takes. So if you're not following Starr Radio UK on Twitter, can you just do that right now? Before we go into it, let me give us the quote of the day. Always understand that miracles are not God's original way of operation. We all believe in miracle. Everybody believes in one miracle. Sometimes, things can just happen and you're putting it into as a miracle. There's nothing wrong if you believe in miracle. But the quote of today, which is the 3rd day of May, at coming up to almost 18:30 hours, which is literally 6:30 p.m. local time in London, local time back in Nigeria as well. Always understand that miracles are not God's original way of operation. If we sit back and keep saying that we are expecting one miracle to fix Nigeria, my audio mic was down there. If we miracles, the daily quote, that I was saying earlier on, because we had a split seconds there. Always understand that miracles are not God's original way of operation. Good evening to you, Johnson Sheyi. Good evening to those of you that are listening to us through all the platforms from the Starr Radio UK. Let us communicate. Mo kí bàbá wa Awo Fájìmí Adékúnlé Fáwuyì. Tá bá fẹ́ kí yín láti bíbà á sọ pé.
This is Starr Radio UK.
A tún sọ pé.
Are you ready to turn it up?
A tún sọ pé.
The best radio show.
And that is especially for my brother. I can say it's my brother because, these are people that build on the platform of Isheshe. And that is our culture. And the reason why we are backwards in Isheshe is because people look at it as deities. So anytime people talk about Isheshe, our tradition, Makawako, Ifake, Ufedi Babalawo. How many people would love to have their child become a Babalawo? How many? How many people would love to have their child to become a pastor or imam? Why is Babalawo a name that we are scared of? Why is it that we don't want to have any kind of association when it comes to Babalawo?
All around the world.
Once again, a very good evening and welcome to my brother, Babawa Awo Fájìmí Adékúnlé Fáwuyì. Even if you cannot watch all the program, it is still important that we welcome you. And I'm trying to get the one that says,
This is Starr Radio UK.
In your car,
At work.
at home,
On your smartphone. Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
All around the world.
Welcome.
That is the one I'm looking for. Again, to kí yín dáadáa bàbá mi Àwo Fájìmí Adékúnlé tó ń wò wá láti ìlú Èkó. Adúpẹ́ fún yín. I'm sure it's in Lagos. I think it's somewhere I won't reveal too much. Mo ṣe kí yín dáadáa nìyẹn. Màá tún sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé
Welcome.
ẹ ṣé gan ni bàbá wa. Even if you are not watching anymore, I've greeted you very, very well. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí bàbá wa Abíọ́dún Òjó, ìyá mi Títílayọ̀ Ṣónóyè. There's a lot tí mo fẹ́ sọ lálẹ́ yìí. There's a lot that I want to discuss and share with us. The first thing is, where did Seyi Tinubu manage to get $11 million? I'm sure some of you have come across the news. For those that do not know Seyi Tinubu, there's nothing wrong, if Seyi Tinubu is buying a house in London, but there's something not right if Seyi Tinubu is buying a house or a mansion that the federal government have confiscated from another criminal known as Dezeni and Kola Aluko. So tonight on Naija Voices, we would like to say to those that are listening to us from around the world that there is a man or a young man at 37 years old. I mean, we have a lot of millionaires and billionaires that are even younger than Seyi Tinubu. So there's nothing wrong if Seyi Tinubu has, $11 million or 11 million pounds or whatever. But my question is, how did Seyi Tinubu manage to convince the Nigerian government and end up buying a property in UK? And we're going to be taking you to that property, very soon, because it is worth going there. It's somewhere in Golders Green. No, did I say Golders Green? St. John's Wood. I have the address already. Seyi Tinubu has not come out to debunk that he owns the property. Let me put this again. Seyi Tinubu have not yet come out to debunk the property in question. Alimi Isiaka Ola Mukindada. Eshegoni Babama Àwo Fájìmí Adékúnlé Fáwòyè. Sometimes they ban share program. I want to comment, but Facebook keep taking my comment off all the time. I don't know what we've done with Facebook. And do you know that the federal government of Nigeria has also told Facebook to pay 30 billion naira for something to do with advertisement? But I think since almost a week now, we couldn't comment on Facebook, but that is back now. So I believe, let me try it and see if I can say thank you. Let me reply on Baba Wo, and let me say Àwo Fájìmí Adékúnlé. I want to reply on your comment, and let me see if that works. So I say, I think I should reply on yours. Let's see. I don't know what's wrong with Facebook. Facebook, leave us alone. Oh. Thank you. Hey, hooray, hooray. So we are back on Facebook comment, and I hope they're not going to remove it, because every now and then Facebook keep removing my comment, and I cannot, sometimes I'm watching somebody's program and I'm just sitting there and I just want to say, I'm here, but I can't, because Facebook has actually restricted us. Adejoke Olaniyi Obadara, mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ ni mo fi kí ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Once again, Ọ̀túnba Adékúnlé, shout out to you, Ìyàwó Táíwò Kíkẹ́, and it is just coming up to 36 minutes past 1800 hours. Tabani 18, we are using 24 hours clock. So each time Febango 1400, 1500, 1600, 1800, 1900, 2000, 2100 hours. It is literally 9 p.m. But right now it's just 1800 hours, but a little bit after, which is 6:36 p.m. Let's come back to Seyi Tinubu. Seyi Tinubu has been in the news coming up to almost 48 hours. He hasn't come out to deny it. So that means that the Buhari government is the most corrupt government that we've ever come across. I'm talking about President Muhammadu Buhari. President Buhari told us that he is going to deal with all those that have stolen Nigerian money. But it seems that Buhari left Seyi Tinubu, or should I say, Olegbe, Olegba. Because what we can say is that, and I'm reading this from, one of your mainstream, network in Nigeria. This is Channels. I mean, it took Channels Television some time before the story came on their own timeline. I'm not sure why. Maybe channels was a little bit reluctant. The TVC talked about Sheyi Tinubu. Let me go and look at TVC. Did anybody notice if TVC talked about the property Sheyi Tinubu brought in UK? Ṣé TVC sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí? Because it's easy for them to criticize Yoruba nation, Biafra nation, but I'm not sure whether they've said anything. So let me look at TVC, because we know that Tinubu owns TVC. It is almost 2:38 a.m. in Japan. Wow. Okay, so TVC ò sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. So TVC is as a criminal organization, because if they are not talking about this, then what are they going to be talking about? Moke Embe Walata. Shout out to my cousin right there. Shoshiwa Nebishe, Abi, you are done already. So are we saying that TVC is not aware about Sheyi Tinubu atrocity in London? Okay, so TVC that is owned by Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the father of Sheyi Tinubu, did not say anything about this property. Mukele Nkonsi, shout out to you, Adekola. Agree. And those of you in Ikorodu and wherever you are across the globe, this is Starr Radio UK. Shout out to you, Allahu Baba. Hey, those are my own people on MixLR. Shout out to you. I'm not sure why we couldn't go on Instagram. Let's do some Instagram. You know, I love this technology. Technology is so beautiful because it gives you all the platform, you know, to communicate. So let's do a bit of Instagram. Let's do Instagram. We'll do Instagram now. So let's do Instagram, and then, yeah, Instagram is live. Oh, my Lord. I love these. Why are we talking about Sheyi Tinubu? It's not because we hate him. It's not because it's an allegation, because he has not come out to debunk it. I mean, there's a difference if somebody say, I stole money, and I say, nah, I didn't steal Yoruba Nation money. And they say, oh, come and prove it. Maybe you did not steal money. But Sheyi Tinubu have not come out to debunk this, you know, property in London. Why is Sheyi Tinubu not saying anything? Why is Sheyi Tinubu quiet about it? Is he guilty of this same property that we are talking about? So for those of you that are watching us from Africa, from Asia, thank you so much. From Japan, it's almost 3 o'clock in the morning in Japan. From Australia, once again, this is
Starr Radio UK.
And once again, the daily code for today is always understand that miracles are not God's original way of operation. Sheyi Tinubu, according to Bloomberg report, Sheyi Tinubu's firm bought a property in UK at about almost $10.8 million. Firstly, is buying the property lower than the price of the property in 2000 and whenever the property was bought. I think the property was sold for $15 million. But Sheyi Tinubu was able to buy it for $10.8 million. So my question is, how did Sheyi Tinubu even maneuver around to buy a property that was worth $15 million, then end up to be sold at 10.8? Is it that the property has been devalued, or is it because it's part of the corruption? The same corruption that has eaten the backbone of Nigeria, and today Nigerians continue to suffer because of the negligence of a government in place to take care of an average Nigerian. Good evening to you, Mr. Olawoye Sonya, and welcome to the program. Like I said, we have no problem with Sheyi Tinubu, but the problem I'm having is that the property in question, the property that Sheyi Tinubu bought, has got to do with the property that Buhari government confiscated through the Zeni and Wale Aluko. So how did that happen? Was somebody feeding Sheyi Tinubu, or is Sheyi Tinubu representing Aluko to buy back the property from the federal government? So let's talk about it. Sheyi Tinubu's firm bought $10.8 million corruption-linked London mansion, according to Bloomberg report. Caller Adams, good evening to you. Keep the comment coming, and I'll be reading some of those comments out. The property Once again, good evening to our father, Wasiu Akinyele. You say, well done, my brother. You're doing a good job. And shout out to those of you as well. This property, Tansore, in your mansion, Tansore, in London, I'm going to take you down there. You know Koiki? You know Star Radio? We always go there and verify to make sure that that property is still there. Jimo Adeoshun, thank you so much. We love you as well. This property in question has got to do with Seyi Tinubu. A lot of you know him as City Boy. But this City Boy has become a criminal buying a property that is meant to be confiscated by the federal government. That itself is a crime. And this is why we are saying that we cannot continue to live in denial. Once again, this is
Starr Radio UK.
In your car,
At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
if you join me for the first time, every Wednesday, this is how we roll it out. The property previously belonged to Kolawole Akoni Aluko. I don't get it. I'm lost here. Can somebody help me? Because I am completely lost. This property in question, this property that we are discussing tonight, this property is somewhere in London, which is about almost an hour and a half from me. If I'm going to be walking, probably I'll get there by evening. Kolawole Akoni Aluko is a criminal that stole money through the Izemi, the former petroleum minister. He was buying yachts, he was buying houses, but the money that these individuals were using has got to do the reason why you are suffering today, because this is a proceed of crime. And I hope that the British government is going to be investigating this property in question, because this property in question has got to do with the federal government of Nigeria, and now another government coming, which is Seyi Tinubu's father, which also have a lot of what we can call, criminal activities surrounding him. Nobody knows the true age of Tinubu as we speak today. Nobody knows his old friends, his new friends. Nobody knows his, as much as Tinubu's background have been destroyed, because Tinubu does not want us to know who truly Tinubu is. We know that there was a drug money that went through Tinubu's account in America while he was living there. But let me say something clearly. In as much as Tinubu can be telling us lies about his age, about his record, let me say that the America, the FBI, the Pentagon, the MI5, and all these agencies around the world, they have the dossier of Bola Tinubu. So Tinubu can tell us lies in Nigeria, but he cannot tell lies to those that know him very well, especially Tinubu traveled to America with a particular details. Whether he has now amended that details or not, the original details of Tinubu that we are talking about, I'm talking about the incoming elected president on the 29th, quote and unquote, that is if the petition does not turn things around, because the petition tribunal kickstart on Monday next week, the 8th of May 2023. Once again, this is
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Are you ready to turn it up?
This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
That is for those of you that have just joined us on the Instagram. Once again, my name is Olami Koiki. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa Seyi Tinubu. Seyi Tinubu that has been in the news going to almost 48 hours now. He hasn't come out to deny the report. Or is he thinking that some of us will probably just forget about it and then we move on? It doesn't work like that. These are the reasons why some of us are saying that Buhari's government, President Muhammadu Buhari's government, is one of the most corrupt government that we've ever come across. Shout out to you, our mother, Comfort Olagunju. Ologunja, sorry for that pronunciation. And I need to welcome you very well by also saying
Welcome. Welcome.
to...
This is Starr Radio UK.
Let me not be partial. Let me also give that to Olakunle, my namesake.
Welcome. Welcome.
This is Starr Radio UK.
It is coming up to almost 13 minutes before 1900 hours, which is the same thing as 7 p.m. And I'm talking about Seyi Tinubu mansion link. This property in question, property town Sorry, T1 Seyi Tinubu ra. I can see the property, but be rest assured that we'll be taking you to that property itself because it is just on the road, but it's a very, very exclusive area in St. John's Wood. This property was previously belonging to Kolawole Akoni Aluko. Womb. I want you to listen to this very well. And if you're not from Nigeria, is it the same pattern in Ghana, in Kenya, in most African countries or around the world where government, imagine the British government confiscate a property and then I want to buy that property. How does it work? Has the property been brought onto the market to be resold? What is going on in Nigeria? Why is Nigeria like this? Why are we still doing things in a way, or is Seyi Tinubu thinking that nobody's going to know that he owns the property? And probably maybe that is why he's using his own firm, which is like a company, to buy the property. What is about the property? Is Seyi Tinubu working for Aluko, the criminal? Where did Seyi Tinubu got $11 million? We know that Seyi Tinubu has a business operation in Nigeria, Lagos precisely, but that business itself is a monopoly. This is advertisement that is operating in Nigeria. So this property in question, once again, a very, very good evening and welcome to each and everyone that have joined us so far on the Niger Voices on Starr Radio UK. The federal government accused of buying the mansion with embezzled fund. Kolawole Akoni Aluko bought this property with stolen money. Well, money from, crude oil proceeds. Aranda Overseas Corp, a company belonging to Seyi Tinubu, purchases a London mansion which the Nigerian government had tried to seize as property bought with proceeds of crime, according to Bloomberg reported. Seyi, who is the son of President-elect Bola Tinubu, bought the property for £9 million, equivalent to $10.8 million, through the company in which he has majority shares in 2017, according to the report. The property previously belonged to Mr. Kolawole Akoni Aluko, whom the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari has accused of billions of naira worth of fraud and of buying the mansion with embezzled fund. Good evening to you, Mrs. Victoria Owolabi. Good evening to you, Aziz Shakiru. Once again, this is the pattern. Oguchuku, welcome to the program. Shegun Sai, good evening and welcome to the program. This has been the pattern where, stolen or embezzled fund are then used quickly to purchase something around the world. The property, again, let me take that one more time. The property previously belonged to Mr. Kolawole Akoni Aluko, whom the federal government under President Muhammadu Buhari has accused of billions of naira worth of fraud and of buying the mansion with the embezzled fund. Good evening to you, my brother Yemi Fatuke, and welcome to my beautiful mother. And we have to welcome her very well by saying,
Welcome.
This is Starr Radio UK.
and that is for my beautiful mother coming into the program. At the time of the purchase, Nigerian government was seeking to arrest the house former owner, accusing him of going on the run while owing the country an oil trading debt worth more than $1.5 billion. Kola Aluko is still on the run and is owing the federal government of Nigeria to the tune of $1.5 billion. Do you know what I can do in almost 774 local government if that money is splitted across all these local government? Do you know what $1.5 billion would do to those of you at home? But tonight, that money is being fizzled out of Nigeria, and tonight, the federal government is still trying to find out where Kola Aluko. Kola Aluko must probably be hiding himself under a bunker. And this is going on in Nigeria. The reason why we are having this conversation is not because of anything, it's because the property in question has got to do with what we can. Aziz, good evening to you and welcome to the program. This property that we are discussing tonight, Shegun Sai, good evening to you once again, has got to do with proceed of crime. The state was also attempting to confiscate the upscale real estate and other assets it suspected had been acquired. This is not a businessman. Kola Aluko was not a businessman. He's just a criminal. Good evening to you, Mrs. Elizabeth Adesonya. Kola Aluko is a criminal. And we must say that clearly. But the question is, how did Sheyi Tinubu manage to know about this property, and how did he manage to buy the property in question? Buhari to attend King Charles' coronation in London, as this Saturday is going to be a lot of jubilation right here in the United Kingdom. There's going to be a massive protest in Scotland that I'm aware of for those that are demanding the right to self-determination. Once again, good evening to everyone that have joined. And for the argument's sake, so that you're not angry, you're not upset, I say to everyone,
Welcome.
This is Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
and that is for every one of you that have joined us. Where is the 1.6 billion? Though Aluko on his part denied all allegation against him, saying a judgment by the Federal High Court in February this year cleared his name. Really? The Economy and Financial Crimes Commission, which is also prosecuting the case, is appealing the judgment. Bloomberg also said a British lawyer listed as Aranda Overseas Core Agent in UK declined to comment based on confidentiality rules. Shout out to you, Aziz, in Miami. So now let's talk about this. Somebody stole the money moved from one end to the other. Is this the normal in 2023? Can we continue like this? Is this the way Nigerians want to continue to live in denial when we say Nigeria is not working? The reason why we say Nigeria is not working is because there's so many issues on the ground that makes Nigeria to be a very, very backward country. And like we always say, until we are all ready to stand our feet and say enough is enough, Nigeria will still remain as it is. So tonight, let us remind ourselves that so much stolen wealth, just as Abacha has done the same thing, has left Nigeria, and so many Nigerians are suffering some of these money that should have been used to look after so many Nigerians. In just about 3 minutes from now, we will then be going into the second segment of the conversation, which has got to do with as Tinubu is preparing, for the inauguration. There's also the petition tribunal that is going to kickstart on Monday. This Friday, in just about 48 hours, Ike Kirimadu will know his fate when it comes to the current situation that he has found himself, which literally means that Ike Kirimadu, remember that Ike Kirimadu has been found guilty already, but he will be sentenced. I know there's been a lot of information out there, but those are not fact checked. Ike Kirimadu will be sentenced this Friday from what we are aware of, and we have to wait until Friday when the sentence is going to come true. So we're going to be giving you all that on Star Radio UK as soon as we have those information and details. But if you're listening to us, let us remind ourselves that this is UK, where if you commit the crime, you would have to pay for the crime as well. I don't know how long Ikekiremadu will be sentenced, but it seems that the federal government, the Senate and the House are making a lot of push to tell the British government, to be lenient when it comes to Ikekiremadu. I'm not sure whether the British is going to listen to the Nigerian government at all, but we will have to wait and see how that is going to play out. But one thing is that, the current situation with Ikekiremadu is again some of the reason why we have said, not doing the needful, not building the kind of hospital, the research center. Ikekiremadu has been in government, whether opposition or not. It was a one-time governor. Ikekiremadu has been around for a very, very long time, but Ikekiremadu has not done much when it comes to, the current situation that he has found himself. So we'll leave that, for now. In just about a minute from now, like I said, we are still live on the Star Radio UK.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Good evening to my producer once again, Mr. Archie Hammond and Frank David. If you're following us, make sure you follow the right Twitter handle. It is Star Radio UK on Twitter. We are also live on all other platforms. If you have anything to discuss with us or you want to share something with us, you can send it to info@starradiouk.com. Now, let us go back and ask more questions. As we do know that there's a lot going on in Nigeria, and the reason why Nigeria is where it is because Nigeria has failed so many people. There's no rule of law, there is no justice. Everything seems to be backwards in Nigeria, and Nigerians are suffering, for that reason. And which one doesn't have the audio? Okay, I'm told. Okay, let's adjust that. I know where that problem is. When we get calls coming through, sometimes it have impact on the broadcast. Thank you so much for bringing that to our know, especially on the Instagram. So let's get that back on quickly for the benefit of those that are listening to us on the Instagram. My name is Olami Koiki, and this is still Star Radio UK, Niger Voices, every Wednesday, where we are discussing everything that's got to do with the current affairs in Nigeria. Last Brown, welcome to the program, and I wish every one of us, as we continue, the campaign for the right to self-determination. Self-determination is not a crime, but one thing is that a lot of people are scared, when it comes to, the movement. A lot of people don't want to get involved. We'll be discussing everything about the movement. Kazim Alawale, good evening to you. James Stephen, I say good evening to you and welcome, to the conversation. One thing we need to understand is in 26 days from today, 26 days, Nigeria will have either a new government or the election tribunal might put a hold on the current situation. I don't know. I will have to wait, for that to happen. Because what I know is that presently, the president-elect, Bola Tinubu, is preparing for May 29. But also, Atiku and Peter Obi are also saying no, they cannot allow Tinubu, to be swearing. And if Tinubu is not swearing, then that literally means that the election tribunal would have to uphold the result. How all this is going to work, we will have to wait and see. We can be speculating. There's not much we can say to that, but we just have to wait and see if truly there will be any changes. If truly there will be any changes. And if there's going to be any changes, that would literally mean that that changes would happen just before just before the May 29. So Tinubu situation is still hanging, but nevertheless, Tinubu preparation continue, and until any changes occur, the government would then have a changeover. Buhari cannot stay longer than 29th of May. How is this going to work? How is this going to happen? If Tinubu and the election result is held by the tribunal, because we know that not much can be, I don't know what the Constitution says, when it comes to that, but we've never witnessed for a very long time where, results will be upheld or upturned. We've seen that with the governorship election, but the election tribunal in Nigeria is a different thing entirely. So let's look at the election tribunal. Atiku, Peter Obi, and likewise Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they will have to square it out at the court. Let's give you some of the updates. Some of the headline: Stand for Justice pro-Atiku groups is urging the tribunal judges. Do you think, good evening, Mr. Shitu Omawumi, good evening to you, Adebayo. Do you believe or think that the tribunal will do justice by saying this election was not done properly, quote and unquote, and that will literally stop Tinubu from being sworn in on the 29th day of May? What do we understand? What can we say? A group, Atiku Support Organization, has asked the Presidential Election Tribunal judges to stand firm to justice ahead of the hearing of the petition arising from the February 25th presidential election. This has been fixed for Monday. Will there be enough time to make judgment before 26 days from today? But the legal advisor of the APC, Ahmed Ali-Mazik, confirmed the date as well, but also in their own statement, the pro-Atiku Abubakar group urged the tribunal judges to remain resolute, unshaken in the face of alleged intimidation by some desperate cartel. We've been hearing the word cabal. It seems now we're also hearing the word cartel. So literally, Nigeria is facing a lot of cabal and cartel, or probably mixed match. Do you think that the judges would do the needful and allow, the real outcome of that election? This election has nothing to do with those of us campaigning for the right to self-determination, which is the Yoruba nation. But one thing is, Nigerians that went out to vote believe that that election was not being fair, especially the result was not transmitted. As we are countdown to May 29, the question is, are we going to get a result of the tribunal, or is it going to be extended away from May 29, which is just countdown? Good evening to you, Mrs. Comfort, Nikki, and every one of you all over the world, especially those in Oman, Libya, Baghdad, Turkey, United Arab Emirates, Togo, Benin Republic, and every part of the world. At exactly 7:30, we will then move to the indigenous people and the right to self-determination. But for now, we're having the conversation around the Nigeria election.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Are you ready to turn it up?
As we say all the time, Nigeria is a country full of so much. We've talked about Tinubu earlier. We've talked about a lot of different scenarios. What's going to happen will be determined by the election tribunal. So let's go further and pick up another article and see what this article is saying. 3 weeks ago, Nigerian ruling party were seeking the dismissal of Obi's election challenge. Why is the APC concerned about this tribunal, the election tribunal that is coming up on Monday? So Interchandara Pamoa Kakoli carrying along. Next week Monday, the election tribunal Mashele. It has nothing to do with Lawata and Bere for Yoruba Nation. Yoruba Nation is a movement on its own. It's a right to Yoruba people, the indigenous people, as it is to the Biafra and the Arewa and the Middle Belt. But there are still millions of Nigerians that believe that there is going to be a new Nigeria. How the new Nigeria is going to work, I don't know. But what I can say is that the Nigerians that believe in the new Nigeria would then have to wait until May 29 or after the conclusive of the election tribunal to close it to say that either Tinubu won or there was what we called, malpractice. We do know, we saw it, but Nigerians, also saw it. But the international community have said everybody should go to court, and now Monday the 8th there will be a court sitting as well. And my question is, are we going to have enough time by the election tribunal to deal with all these problems? Good evening to you, Mrs. Adiat Odawale, and good evening to you, Golden Royal, and welcome to the program. Moki Bugwale Konsi. Once again, there is countdown. There is a lot of tension in Nigeria. The tension is boiling. The international community are looking. We pray that this tension will not lead to crisis. Once again, we are hoping that whatever the current situation that is going on in Nigeria, dialogue will be at least part of the conversation. Everybody is witnessing what is currently... I didn't know that we have a lot of Nigerians in Sudan until the war broke out. You'll be surprised how many foreigners are currently living in Nigeria the moment any crisis starts in Nigeria, when their government would then have to do what they call evacuation. Nobody prays for crisis, but in a situation like Nigeria where, even for those that believe in Nigeria, they believe that they are being intimidated because this election was not conducted in a proper way, even though the government thinks he has done much. Before we go into the right to self-determination, the indigenous people, let's come back to President Muhammadu Buhari. I'm going to be doing a special program. Let me see when that might come up. Let's look at the calendar so that we have an idea. So if all goes well, on the 29th will be Monday. So on the 24th, which is another 3 weeks from today, I'm going to host a call-in program where you will call in for 2.5 hours and we will discuss the legacy President Buhari is leaving. Put that in your diary. Remember, we would have the studio number, we will have the WhatsApp line, we would open the line from the beginning of the program all the way to the end. CJ Mega Money says that KOIKIMEDIA, those hoping for a better nigger area is wallowing in the self-deceit. Good evening from here, and I say good evening as well, CJ. So many Nigerians believe that Nigeria is going to, remember which way Nigeria, Sorry to those of you on one of the broadcasts we accidentally, disconnected it, but it is back up and running. Oluwaseun Okusoya says, after God, it is you, Mr. Koiki. Kò sí ìbẹ̀rù fún ọmọ Oòduà. It is certain. Thank you so much. Odedele Timo, shout out to you. Shout out to those of you, grandma. Let me say grandma, maybe to all our grandma, but this especially for my beautiful grandma, Felicia Ajagbe. This is how I say to you.
Welcome.
This is Starr Radio UK.
And that is the way I say. Keep your comment coming. I'll be reading those comments out. And if you want to call in tonight, should we open the phone line? We see. At about 7:30, I will decide if we open the phone line where you'll be able to communicate back into the studio. I'll give you the studio number. Is if you're calling from outside UK, you have to remember to put the +44. But if you're just calling in from the WhatsApp, we see, because we're running the Instagram from the WhatsApp line. So let's come back again. President Muhammadu Buhari on the 24th. Keep that in your diary. I'll remind you every Wednesday and during our sister broadcast when we are not in the studio. I will be telling you that on Wednesday the 24th, it's going to be a calling. You might not be able to use some of the languages, because of the nature of the transmission here, but from the other sister broadcast, everything will go. So we will manage both sides, but on the 24th, I will allow you, to call in during the program. Now, let me now talk about President Muhammadu Buhari. There are a few things he has said in the last few hours. Buhari said, I have done my best for Nigeria. Do you believe that Buhari, the current president, this was in December last year, 14th of December. In 7.5 years, I have done my best, President Buhari told some visiting delegation comprising the Secretary General of the Abu Dhabi Forum. Ṣé gbogbo wa agree pé Buhari ti ṣe dáadáa? Kazeem Olawale says he did nothing. Okay. If you're watching me from the northern part of Nigeria, what is your take about President Muhammadu Buhari? Because a lot of people would thought that Buhari would do much in the northern part of Nigeria. Olawale Alabi said, right on, Ojulowo Egbe Baba Won ló ń ṣe. Adebanjo says, KOIKIMEDIA, the zoo country in Nigeria, it cannot work. It never worked before since 1960. Keep the comment coming. Buhari said in December that he has done his best for Nigeria. I'm not sure how, because inflation today, let me look at the inflation figure in Nigeria and let's talk about that as well. Inflation in Nigeria, we know the world is not balanced. There is instability, especially, with the war in Ukraine. The war in Ukraine is creating a lot of disruption, across, the global market. But today, according to the report that I have here, Nigeria inflation rate rises to 22.4%. It is the third consecutive increase in 2023. So in terms of lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta inflation ti lọ sókè. So the consumer price index, owó tẹ́ fi ra nǹkan tẹ́lẹ̀, the amount of money that you're using to buy something has gone up, which measures the rate of change in price of goods and services, has also rose to 22.4% as at March. We are currently in May, and I'm sure it has not dropped down between April and today. Mukimba Baba Asimi Ibrahim. So in Timon Shala, if you the inflation. So how do we gauge inflation? For those of you that probably do not understand, báwo la ṣe máa mọ̀ pé nǹkan wà inflated? It's got to do with inten ra tẹ́lẹ̀, whether òun ra Indomie ní 20 naira, ó ti wá rà ní 40 naira, inflation ti gun orí ẹ̀ nìyẹn. Whether òun ra boli, boli, for those that probably don't understand what boli is like a roasted plantain. Tó bá ń ra boli ní 30 naira tẹ́lẹ̀, ó ti di 60 naira times 3. that means that inflation to go here. So, both services, some of you have been complaining, and we can say, let me quickly say thank you 5 or 6 times, especially if anyone in Nigeria. It is head and neck, oriatese, because I don't know how you survive buying internet and you're not getting the right, price for it as well. Because I know that, my mom keeps telling me, I mean, there's a little bit difference as well. I mean, it's not cheap in Benin Republic, but what we do know is that, the current situation, whether you are buying any of the, we don't have to mention their names because, we are not promoting them on the platform here. But I'm going to say thank you 5 times from Nigeria.
Welcome. 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 Welcome.
This is Starr Radio UK.
And that is especially from the bottom of my heart. Because, I mean, some of you don't have a lot of money, but our concern, especially those that understand that if you do not understand information, you will get lost. I got something on my way coming into the studio. Let's see if I can quickly bring that today. Information is the key. And if you don't have the right information, while I was getting into the studio from the train station, I got these 2 leaflets. So what we are doing every day, talking to you at home, we are passing on information that will be of benefit. Maybe not everything. So these 2 leaflets, you can tell is brand new, smelling very nice. Thank you so much, Shakiru Azan. Say I'm watching you from Nigeria, Eshegoni. And let me also say, thank you once again.
Welcome.
Thank you once again. Because it's very expensive. Shawari information is the key. And what they've done in Nigeria is they've eaten away the information, because a lot of Nigerians probably do not even understand this inflation. Let me read quickly again, coming from Mr. Kazim, and you went on to say, we place out hope highly on him, and if he failed woefully, nothing at the end of the day. I refuse to continue with his failed promises from politicians. I stand with Yoruba Nation. Aziz Ajigbola, good evening to you. Mokiba Baba, Ebu Yusuf Abiodun, and welcome once again to Comrade Plan B. Let me say, Mixella, this is for you all.
Welcome. Welcome.
In your car,
At work,
at home.
on your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK.
If you don't know what is MixLR is you don't pay too much, like watching me on YouTube and Facebook. It just takes a little bit of your make. In Nigeria. So if you look at these 2 information, one says, have you caught the train? That means to buy one train, so to worry, or has the train caught you? And this information now becomes available free. I don't have to buy it, so that when I travel on the train, especially on the overground, I do understand that obstructing the door is a common misconception that you can prevent a train from departing a station by placing something between the doors to stop them closing fully. So Nigeria today, the reason why Nigeria is not really functioning to the fullest is because we are closing the door, but there is something hanging on the door. I hope you understand what I'm trying to use the narrative of this train, picturing. Because if you look at these, I hope you can see it very well. Eric, you can see that the person has put his hand. So somebody has put their hand in Nigeria, and Nigeria is not moving forward. Nigeria has now stopped. So train in Nigeria could move siwaju kò lọ sẹ́yìn. It is not going forward. It's not going backwards in 63 years. Because that is exactly what this is telling me, that taba fi ọwọ́ sínú train, the train is not going to move. So that means that I have now delayed all the other passenger on the train. So if the northern part of Nigeria is not ready to develop, why are they putting their hand to stop the Biafra and the indigenous people called the Yorubas? Kí ló dé tó ń dá wa dúró? Because by holding us for 63 years, it is giving us setback. We are not developing, we are moving backwards. And this is exactly what a comment that is coming through. Let me read the comment quickly. Once again, good evening. John Oladimeji say, Nigeria is the British business center, Yoruba nation no going back. Shakiru Azan say, I'm wondering, okay, sorry, yeah, I'm watching you from Nigeria. Adebanjo, Mr. Koiki, Ile àti ọ̀run ti pa zoo country, Nigeria kò ní gbérí. You also went on to say, Nigeria is finished since 1960. No love between the Hausas and the Igbos and the Yoruba. Nigeria is a business center. So, tẹ́bá wo training nísìn, you will realize that a passenger is stopping the train from moving forward because of his own selfish interest. Not that there's no other train coming up, but bad training, to delay everybody. So as much as we want to move forward in Nigeria, but there are some certain element of people where Tinubu can buy a property that is meant to be for the federal government because Aluko stole money by selling crude oil. He did not return the money back to Nigeria. So this is why we are saying that Buhari is now saying that I have done my best. Do you agree with Buhari? So it is two two leaflet I was given. This one is staying safe on the London Underground. Stay safe. What do I mean by that? So let me open this as well. So if you look at these, and this also for those of you in UK, if you're traveling on the underground or the overground, please stay away from not allowing the train to move. Train me my day, even if you're running late to work. I understand. Muki, Mr. Steven Idowu, Idris Abimbola Mukindada. Once again, this is Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and this is how we do it every Wednesday. So I am using these narrative. So let's look at this again. You can see the danger sign. So Nigeria is in danger. How do we then resolve all the problems that Nigeria is facing today? I want to show you, is this opening or is this just me? Okay, it's not opening. So let me read this again. Despite us doing everything we can to make the station a safe place, they are only as safe as the way we use them. As Nigeria being a safe place, can I go to Nigeria now and travel to some state, even though the British government have said this state you shouldn't travel to? Good evening to you, Maze Gold. Unfortunately, accidents happen at station every year. So we would like everyone to be more aware of their surroundings and be more careful. So if you are not careful with your surrounding in Nigeria, you could become a one chance. And then moving straight into the Yoruba Nation conversation right now, and we might speak some Yoruba to carry along as many of, not because they are illiterate, it's just because that is the only language that they understand. So train the UK. I got these nígbà tí mo fẹ́ wọ train platform. Wọ́n wá fi ń tó wa létí pé ìdí tí Nàìjíríà ò ṣe lọ síwájú tó lọ sẹ́yìn ni pé àwọn kan ti fi ọwọ́ sínú train yẹn, wọ́n ò jẹ́ kó lọ síwájú, wọ́n ò jẹ́ kó lọ sẹ́yìn, and it is dragging every one of us backwards. It's dragging the Yoruba backwards. It's even dragging the Hausas backwards. It's dragging everybody. But President Muhammadu Buhari says, I have done my best. Let's talk about the inflation. So in 2025, 2 years from now, according to projection. No, let me leave that. Let's go back to, because this is just like a statistic. They're probably thinking that, by 2025. So let's look at, is inflation good or bad in Nigeria? Say inflation da fún Nigeria àbí kò da? And I hope you understand. So these are the reason why information, so that by the time people get this, information, it will be useful. It has there all the website and everything that you need to know. And I hope that especially those of us in UK, when you're traveling through the underground or the overground, please take care of yourself. Adebanjo says, Mr. Koiki, British is the one hold Nigeria trade. British is the one old Nigeria trade station. Okay, I can't deny that. You know, Mukim Yawa Folake Akinyele Ekabo Surietu. And if you're watching me first time, I always say,
Welcome.
All around the world.
This is Starr Radio UK.
if you are long playing Starr Radio UK, it is now coming up to almost 7:30 p.m. Mr. Fatai Ogumefun, he actually done his best to his Fulani tribe. Okay. Kí ló ń pè ní inflation? Is inflation good or bad? People are asking the question. Ṣé inflation dá? The problem of high inflation rate in Nigeria is a source of concern to both the rich and the poor. Everybody go chop breakfast. Last. Everybody go chop breakfast. Last. Because those of us in UK, if I've been sending £50 to my loved ones every month to take care of their needs, £50 onitomo, I will probably have to increase it to about maybe £80 just for them to balance situation. Because £50 tele, that has gone up. So inflation, omani impact fún olówó àti mẹ̀kúnnù. Bólówó ṣe máa jẹgba náà ni mẹ̀kúnnù máa jẹgba. So it does not matter whether I am in Nigeria, I am still also getting part of that inflation. The poor in Nigeria cannot afford the prices of commodities in the market. How many people are able to afford, chicken? And chicken in UK is one of the most cheapest meats to buy. I love goat meat, but it's very, very expensive. Rahim Abbas, a council, Sibe Ekrole, not the same one like that fraudulent, individual. Inflation is not good, according to Mr. John Oladimeji. Thank you so much. So when we talk about inflation, there's inflation already in UK, because I know, Moki, Mr. Rashid, you say Yorubas are not ready to be free. You might be right, because 3 million people or 3 million Yoruba people voted for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Otumba Gbogbo Ekabo Surieto. This is Starr Radio UK. Shout out once again to my producer. If you're watching on any African country, you have something you want me to discuss about Nigeria. Last week, I focused on Nigerians in Sudan, but the news still coming to our desk is that Nigerians are still held in Sudan. So where is the $1.3 million that the federal government sent? That is just a small token. Also, the Igbos and the Yorubas are complaining that they are being neglected in Sudan. Even the Hausas are also complaining. Some have been asking me, what are they doing in Sudan? I should be asking myself, what am I doing in UK? People travel to countries that they feel comfortable. I mean, what should an Igbo person be doing in Sudan? It's left to him, not me. What should a Yoruba man be doing in Sudan? That has got nothing to do with me. But when crises start, this is how situation happen. Let me say shout out to my grandma as well, Rafiat Byron, and welcome once again to the program. Once again, the reason why Nigeria is where it is, because I want to forward in training, move, and we have to. So, talk about forward in train. What do we need to do? We need to open the train and allow the person to either come in or go out. But if the person is not moving his hand out, then everybody is stuck. And that is why we are where we are for 63 years. So let's come back to inflation. The poor people in Nigeria, and we have a lot of poor people in Nigeria. The federal government says it has been trying its best, with a lot of intervention. I remember, Pastor Yemi, did I say pastor? The Vice President Yemi Osibajo told us at some point, Grandma Okun Ajaleki Mogba ni Adura. Let me read that comment. Moki Alaja Adiat Odewale. Grandma Okun Ajaleki Mogba ni Adura pe Oko ni Shubu. I gotta give you this one as
Welcome.
Fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí Lẹ́kì àti Tàjá nìyẹn.
UK.
Àníṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn tó jẹ́ ọmọ Nàìjíríà ìyà ń jẹ wá. Jonathan Ajagbe mo kí yín káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Amlulex, my brother, welcome to the program. Allow Baba once again, and those of you that are listening on the Mixlr. So inflation is not good. Inflation now one in the UK. Waris Dinodu, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Lativo Woseni Mukinda and all the quiet and silent listeners that are watching us. Buhari, ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sórí Buhari again. Àwọn Yorùbá sọ pé àwọn fẹ́ lọ. Wọ́n communicate pẹ̀lú Buhari. Buhari decided that he's tired of the Biafra and he quickly labeled them as a terrorist organization. Ṣé Tinubu máa uphold ẹ̀ tó bá dé kí lẹ rò kó máa ṣẹlẹ̀? Buhari kò sọ̀rọ̀ lórí Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped in 2021 by President Muhammadu Buhari from Kenya. 26 days, mo kí bàbá wa John Ogundele, mo fi fele, mo fi kí dáadáa.
Welcome.
This is Starr Radio UK.
And if you're sending money home, remember to use a send wave. That is the best way you can communicate to your loved ones by sending them that little money. And if you're doing it for the first time, you probably get a bit of discount as well. Send waves. Now, let's come back to the conversation again. Buhari ti ń lọ nísìn, ó máa hand over fún the next president. Tinubu, if all goes well without any hiccup, Tinubu will become the next president May 29. And we know that Nnamdi Kanu situation, ó ṣì wà níbi tó wà. Do you think that Tinubu will be a little bit lenient? Because I didn't hear anything Tinubu said as election was getting closer. Tinubu didn't say much. Mo kí Yawa Ejire, mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Fẹ́mi Bright. Thank you so much. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní different WhatsApp group. Àti bọ́ sórí agbami ti ètò Yoruba Nation, Biafra Nation, Arewa Nation. These are conversation tá à ń ṣe níbí báyìí nísìn. Wọ́n lè jẹ́ kó ṣẹlẹ̀ lórí Oríyọmí Hamzat, lórí Yínká Ayéfẹ́lẹ́, gbogbo àwọn Yoruba Nation, gbogbo àwọn Yoruba radio station ní Nàìjíríà. And the information ò bá kárí, ó ń jẹ́ kó jẹ́ nǹkan tí ó ń fa ìrìn àjò yẹn náà sẹ́yìn díẹ̀. Yàtọ̀ sí pé àti láwọn tó ti wọnú ìrìn àjò yẹn tó wá dàrú. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fún gbogbo èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá pé Bàbá Akíntóyè àwọn sì ni leader Yorùbá Nation. Bí a fẹ́ bí a kọ̀, àwọn sì ni leader. Àmọ́ Bàbá Akíntóyè kọ lẹ́tà sí President Muhammadu Buhari. He wrote a letter. But President Buhari did not respond to that letter. Do you think that Tinubu would have a discussion pẹ̀lú àwa tí à ń pariwo Yorùbá Nation when Tinubu gets to power? Ṣé Tinubu máa gba lẹ́tà tiwa tó máa kà á? Because Buhari ní òun ò wà interested láti bá wa sọ̀rọ̀, láti jẹ́ ká mọ bí ìrìn àjò yẹn ṣe máa tẹ̀síwájú, àti pé àwọn wo gangan ló ń dá ìrìn àjò Yorùbá Nation dúró? Are these our representatives, our legislators? Who actually is behind the debar and the hold up of the Yoruba Nation struggle? Kò ń ṣe Bàbá Akíntóyè ló ń dá Yoruba Nation dúró. Kò ń ṣe Dr. Olóyè Sunday Igboho ló ń dá Yoruba Nation dúró. Kò ń ṣe gbogbo ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Yorùbá ló ń dá Yoruba Nation dúró. Àwọn tó ń dá dúró, àwọn ni legislator wa tí wọ́n ti fọwọ́ sí pé a máa lọ. Ìbéèrè tí mo wá ń bi gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ni pé ṣé tí wọ́n bá ń bá ìjọba tó ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ wọlé dé tó bá ń ba lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ láàrin méjì títí tí tó máa fi parí ìjọba náà tí ó di ọdún mẹ́rin tó di ọdún mẹ́fà, àwọn kan ní a lè estimate, we just have to wait and see. Mo kí ìyàwó Teresa Akínṣetí, I hope I didn't massacre the name, ẹ má bínú mà. Mo ń kí gbogbo wa lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò Starr Radio UK.
Welcome.
Are you ready to turn it up? In your car,
At work,
at home,
on your smartphone.
The best radio show. The best radio show.
Ẹni tí wọ́n fẹ́ jẹ́ ká ṣe gangan ní Nàìjíríà òun lélẹ̀ kí a lè communicate, tí a máa bá àwọn èèyàn wa sọ̀rọ̀, tí wọ́n máa gbọ́ ìdí pàtàkì tí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe ń sọ pé a fẹ́ òmìnira Yorùbá Nation. Tá bá ń ṣerú eléyìí, ní Nàìjíríà lẹ́ni nísìn DSS máa ti kanlẹ̀kùn àfiwá jíyàn gbé military máa wà nísàlẹ̀ a máa bèrè pé kí ló dé tí mo wọ fìlà sójà a lè máa bá lọ báyìí la ṣe ń sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sílé àmọ́ àwọn olóṣèlú ò tí ì fara sílẹ̀ pé ká padà sílé.
The best radio show.
In your car, at home.
On your smart.
Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan ṣe I say welcome mo kí Yonkan mo kí gbogbo ẹgbẹ́ pátápátá Mr. Babawa John sọ pé House of Rep àti Senate àwọn gangan ni wọ́n fa okùnfà ìrìn àjò Yorùbá nation nítorí pé kí ni àwọn sì fẹ́ ṣe òṣèlú nínú Nàìjíríà àwọn tó bá dẹ̀ ń ṣe òṣèlú nínú Nàìjíríà that means pé àwọn ló ń fà wá sẹ́yìn kò ń ṣe Akíntóyè kò ń ṣe bàbá wa Akíntóyè kò ń ṣe Ìgbòho àwọn kọ́ ni wọ́n ń dá wa dúró àwọn fẹ́ kíran Yorùbá bọ́ nínú oko ẹrú ìdí tí wọ́n ṣe ń sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pé Yorùbá nation no going back nítorí pé tíran Yorùbá bá dúró à á lè wora wa dáadáa à á lè jọba ara wa mo kí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí bàbá wa Shakiru Hasan Lateef Owóṣe ní ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ nílé tó ń bẹ nírìn àjò nítorí pé àwa kan ti wà lórí ìrìn àjò ó ti tó ọdún mélòó kan ìgbà tá a fẹ́ padà sílé àìtí garanti ẹ̀ ẹni tó ń lọlé gan ó ń lọ nítorí pé fúndì kan àbídì kejì ni kò likely pé ẹni tó ń gbé ní Nàìjíríà òun gan fi sá lọ ni ṣé gbogbo wa lè sá lọ ká fi ilẹ̀ wa sílẹ̀ tá a bá pariwo títí níwájú gómìnà wa tó bá yá wá gbọ́ nǹkan tá à ń sọ but ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ sọ pé that is not the best way that is not the solution nígbà tá a ní àfẹ́ ìtàjẹ̀ sílẹ̀ tí a dẹ̀ bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run pé kí ìtàjẹ̀ sílẹ̀ wà the only way we can continue is to have a massive out rally and awareness and campaign door to door but irú eléyìí tá à ń ṣe níbí báyìí nísìn èmi ń sọ níbí báyìí nítorí pé ìlú òyìnbó lèmi wà mo kí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Alhaja Sherifat Agbabiaka màá tún sọ pé
Welcome.
ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò.
The best radio show.
tó bá fún wa láyè tí a gbèrú radio station báyìí kalẹ̀ tí ọ́fíìsì wà táwọn èèyàn ń pè kí ló ń pè ní Yorùbá nation kí nìdí tá a ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ lọ tá à ń ṣàlàyé gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ní ẹ̀kúnrẹ́rẹ́ àti máa gbọ́ lórí social media ó wà expensive èèyàn mélòó ló lè jókòó how many people can sit on a broadcast for 2.5 hours there's another broadcast there but tá a bá ń ṣe lórí rédíò tí kò kí ń ṣe online àwọn èèyàn wa máa gbọ́ lábúlé wá gbọ́ ìdí tí Fúlàní ṣe ń wọlé pa wọ́n afọ́nrán kan tó fi ránṣẹ́ sí mi I cannot show that on the social media àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n ṣáládàá wọ́n ṣá ẹni yẹn ládàá let me take off my glasses wọ́n ṣá ẹni yẹn ládàá láti bíbà wọ́n dẹ̀ pín ojú yẹn sí ọ̀nà méjì títí dé bíbà he survived it this is what is going on in Nigeria today and this is why we are saying that ǹjẹ́ a lè máa bá lọ báyìí in reality àbí a kàn ń parọ́ fúnra wa mo kí ìyá tó bí mi lọ́mọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí nígbà tá a kọ́kọ́ wọlé àti dúpẹ́ lọ́rọ̀ àwọn mọ̀lẹ́bí bàbá wa Alhaji Ọmọ́táyọ̀ Kóìkì kọ́lọ̀ kó délẹ̀ fún he died 41 years ago and we continue to love him we continue to appreciate him if my father tí bàbá tó bí mi lọ́mọ bá ṣì wà láyé in tí mò ń ṣe iná lòun náà máa fẹ́ nítorí pé àwọn tó bí ní 1930 something ni bàbá tèmi náà almost the same age pẹ̀lú bàbá Akíntóyè ẹ wá wo gbogbo àwọn àgbàlagbà wa lẹ́ni ní gbogbo ibi tá à ń pè nílẹ̀ Yorùbá láti Kwara títí dé Kogi títí dé Ondo Èkìtì Ọ̀ṣun Ọ̀yọ́ Ògùn èèyàn kan kú lánàá ní Ìwó road òkú yẹn dẹ̀ wà níbẹ̀ títí di wákàtí títí di àárọ̀ yìí ni wọ́n tó lọ gbókú yẹn kúrò. How did we get to where our government doesn't care? Our representatives do not have understanding of the pain of the Yoruba people. Kí ni àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re ń ṣe gan? Ṣé lórí Nàìjíríà náà lọ sí fẹ́ ká jókòó lé ká máa béèrè fún restructure, knowing fully well that the restructure is not coming anytime soon? These are all the questions on the table. Ṣé bá ṣe fẹ́ bá lọ lélẹ̀? Why are we living in denial? A ní Nàìjíríà ò ṣiṣẹ́. wọ́n ti dá dúró, the train ó ti wà stuck. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá a lè dáko, àwọn tó fẹ́ gbé ọjà wọlé wọ́n stop wọn ní border. The border between Nigeria and the southwest is so locked. Tó bá fẹ́ gba Benin kọjá wá sí Nàìjíríà wàá mọ̀ pé bígbà tó ń lọ sí Hellfire ni. And eléyìí ò ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Haúsá. A ní a kì í ṣe lédè kan náà, a kì í ṣe ẹ̀yà kan náà. Èdè tí mò ń sọ ó yàtọ̀ sí èdè tí wọ́n ń sọ nílẹ̀ Ìgbò, ó yàtọ̀ sí èdè tí wọ́n ń sọ nílẹ̀ Haúsá. We have almost 500 languages. I understand some other African countries believe that Nigeria should be the big player within the African Union. But let me say this, Nigeria will not be the big player because Nigeria has indigenous people that were locked together by the British colony during the 19th century. And self-determination is our right. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sórí àwọn Biafra. As the Biafra are shouting that they want their own nation, at exactly 8 o'clock, I'm going to start looking at some of the headline coming out of Nigeria. Maybe we should just take a short break and then we come back once again. Let's go and listen to Arabani by Janet, where we continue with the program.
Oh, yeah, me let know me know for me.
Kí ló dé tí àwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re ò fi sòdodo lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation? Kí ló dé tí Afẹ́nifẹ́re sì tún sọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà after tí Peter Obi ti lose election? Àwọn kan sọ pé ẹnu Yorùbá ò lè kò. I disagree with that. It's just that selfish interest àwọn kan ni wọ́n ṣe fi jẹ́ ká lọ. Mo kí bàbá wa Kenzie Abiola, ẹ má bínú pé mo dá yín lóhùn látẹ̀ǹkan. Ẹ ṣe gan ni pé lórí Star Radio bẹ́gọ́ ẹ̀ gángan lẹ́yìn tí ń wò ẹ̀yin gan lẹ́ẹ̀ka sọ pé.
Welcome.
Ẹ má jẹ́ kó torí yín bàjẹ́. Mo kí ìyá wa Tóyìn Dàda Àjàyí, ẹ káàbọ̀ tí mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀wọ̀ ni mo fi dárúkọ yín. Àníṣe kí làwọn Afẹ́nifẹ́re sì ń sọ tó sì tún sọ pé no retreat no surrender, fight to finish lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà. Ṣé bí àwọn balẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe máa wò wá nìyẹn títí tá máa fi kó sínú ṣọ̀kọ̀lọ̀? At least Tinubu ti débẹ̀ nísìn. Ṣé tí Tinubu bá ṣe tán làwọn bá wá ṣe máa support Yorùbá nation ni? Mo kí ìyá wa Ayé Odúnsè, ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí ìyá wa Tóyìn, eléyìí ni fún ọ̀dọ̀ tiyín.
Welcome.
Àníṣe tí a bá láǹfààní láti máa ṣerú ètò tí mò ń ṣe nínú Nàìjíríà tipẹ́tipẹ́ ní gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ti gbọ́ ìdí tá a fi lọ. Àmọ́ gbogbo radio station Nàìjíríà wọn ní lè ṣe tèmi ń ṣe yìí nítorí pé Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation ó máa seize license wọn ni.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Àná fẹ́ sọ fáwọn èèyàn wa ìdí pàtàkì tá a ṣe fẹ́ lọ, àmọ́ federal government ní àwọn lè fún wa ní license rédíò. Mo kí dáadáa ìyá wa Sọ́níyà Elizabeth. Àníṣe ọsibítù kò ṣiṣẹ́, iléèwé kò ṣiṣẹ́, àwọn ọmọ mélòó. Ṣé ìyà yóò tí tó ni àbí kí la máa sọ sí ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀ yìí? Once again, this is still
Starr Radio UK.
The best radio show. The best radio show. The best radio show.
Àníṣe ẹ jẹ́ ká béèrè lọ́wọ́ ara wa orílẹ̀-èdè kí ló ń pè gangan ní orílẹ̀-èdè? What is known as a nation? Kí ló dé tí gbogbo àwọn àgbàlagbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ń sá fún Yorùbá nation? ṣé Yorùbá nation ṣé ó dàgbé sára ni àbí báwo kí ló dé gan tí gbogbo ẹ̀yin pírẹsẹ́ńtà tẹ wà nílé tí ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation ṣé Nàìjíríà lẹ rò pé ó máa fún yín ní ìsinmi ni. àníṣe òmìnira làwa fẹ́ àfẹ́ kankan ju òmìnira lọ mú kí bàbá wa Bíọ́lá Àyìnkẹ́ mú kí ẹ̀yin ti Dublin mú kí ẹ̀yin ti Switzerland Australia mú kí yín Japan mú kí yín Malaysia mo gbàgbé yín gbogbo WhatsApp group pátápátá àtẹni tó sí nínú WhatsApp group nínú Telegram ni gbogbo bí tọmọ Yorùbá ń bẹ pátá là ń kí látòrí Star Radio UK. àníṣe tó bá fún wa láyè ní oṣù mẹ́fà lórí radio station ní Nàìjíríà ká fi báwọn èèyàn wa sọ̀rọ̀ kíákíá ni gbogbo wọn máa sọ pé Nàìjíríà sẹ́ kò ń ṣe ìlú tiwa. mo gbàdúrà fún ẹ pé kí ìwọ náà wọ ìlú òyìnbó tó bá dé ìlú òyìnbó wàá wá realize pé bó ní òyìnbó ṣe rí lélẹ̀ is this London wàá máa sọ pé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni welcome to London. àníṣe a fẹ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ báyìí ní orí rédíò ní Nàìjíríà àmọ́ NBC sọ pé kò possible Lai Muhammed ọmọ Yorùbá irọ́ ó kún ẹnu bàbá yẹn ẹnu ẹ̀ báyìí òpùrọ́ ni ẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́nu Lai Muhammed. Thank you so much once again Baba I've spent to any length thank you so much Mr. Biola Àyìnkẹ́ ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé kódà owó tẹ̀ ń ná lórí data kò ṣeé máa sọ rárá àfi k'Ọlọ́run tètè gba Yorùbá nation fún wa. a kí àwọn ọmọ Biafra ní government in exile tí àwọn ń ṣe lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ a sọ nípa news wọn díẹ̀ lẹ́yìn tí a bá ti gbọ́ orílẹ̀-èdè mi díẹ̀ sí. Buhari ní I have done my best kí ló tún kù tó tún fẹ́ ṣe. Once again, it is still Star Radio UK. àníṣe kí ló ń pè ní Nàìjíríà àwọn ogun ní Nàìjíríà I understand that it's going to be very difficult for everybody to accept that Nigeria is not a country but Nigeria just have to disintegrate. ìyá wa Tóyìn Dàda sọ pé location 419 will soon explode. àníṣe orí ètò Naija Voices tá a mọ̀ sí the current affairs of Nigeria òun la máa ń discuss ní ọjọ́jọ́ Wednesday níbi tẹ́ ti máa pàdé mi ní aago 6 gbáko títí di aago 8 àbọ̀. mo kí bàbá wa Bùkọ́lá Adéwálé mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá lẹ́ẹ̀kan ṣiṣẹ́ pé a kú ìrọ́jú nínú Nàìjíríà 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari Nigerians ojú yìí ti rí màbo. mo kí gbogbo ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá nígbà tí Tinubu ti wọlé báyìí ǹjẹ́ ẹ gbóhùn sókè díẹ̀ lórí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation Wàsíù Bọ́lárìnwá mo kí yín. Shout out to those of you that are watching us from the northern part of the country. In just about a few minutes, I'll be discussing all the news coming from Simon Ekpa, the Biafra government in exile. Tó bá wá di aago 8, àwa sọ news tó ń bọ̀ láti inú Nàìjíríà gangan. Àníṣe ilé tí wọ́n sọ pé Ṣèyí Tinubu rà lágbára Elédùmarè a máa débẹ̀ a lọ fi tó yín lójú ó kù díẹ̀ náà ni. Ṣé èèyàn ń gbé nínú bẹ̀ ni àbí wọ́n kọ̀ tibẹ̀ pamọ́ kí ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú ilé yẹn $11 million wọ́n ní àlùkò lóní ilé yẹn tẹ́lẹ̀ ilé tí ìjọba gbà ó lè gbà òun lọ̀rọ̀ Nigerian government. Àníṣe òpùrọ́ ni Lai Muhammed tó bá ti ń káàkiri báyìí ẹnu á máa ṣẹ̀jẹ̀ òpùrọ́ ni olópùrọ́ ni Lai Muhammed bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ẹ ṣe rí nù Lai Muhammed ẹnu ẹ dàbí tẹlẹ́dẹ̀. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ kan sí pé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. A máa padà sínú ètò báyìí báyìí níbi tí a máa lọ sí ibi tí a sì tún máa fún wa ní ibi tí ọ̀rọ̀ ń bẹ ọ̀rọ̀ sì ń bẹ lẹ́nu wa. Ta ló rántí Raskimono ta ló rántí Raskimono Raskimono ń bọ̀ láìpẹ́ yìí à ń tò lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ káàárọ̀ jíire Nàìjíríà ó ti wà ní under serious pressure. Ǹjẹ́ àárín àwọn Biafra àti Tinubu máa gúnlẹ̀ dáadáa? Bẹ́ẹ̀ni bá tẹ̀ sọ pé àárín ọmọ Yorùbá máa gúnlẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Tinubu, ǹjẹ́ àwọn Biafra máa gbà kíjọba Tinubu kó nísinmi? Nàìjíríà ti wà lábẹ́ kí ni? rí àrólé Odùduwà yẹn ẹ má dá lóhùn a jẹ́ pé ẹni tí kò mọ ohun tó ń lọ nìyẹn. Wàsíù mú kí ẹlẹ́ǹkan sí i. Àníṣe Nàìjíríà máa wọ́ mi láìpẹ́ láì jìnnà. It's just a matter of time. As we leave that for now, let's come back to the conversation. Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped by Buhari government, and as we speak right now, Nnamdi Kanu is still in the custody of the DSS. So my question is, the Arewa told the Onhaise to shut up regarding the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Onhaise is saying to President Muhammadu Buhari, the new president in Wanyanwu, is pledging that Buhari should at least release Nnamdi Kanu. Buhari has 26 days to determine who is going to allow to let go on a state pardon or not. But if Buhari do not allow Nnamdi Kanu to go, and if all goes as it is without any hiccup with the election tribunal and Tinubu takes power, what do you think is going to happen between the Biafra and the new government? Tinubu is a Yoruba man. Nnamdi Kanu is an Igbo man. We know that the northern part of Nigeria has hatred for the southeast, and there's a lot of evidence to back that. Also, the Yoruba do not have any good reason to say that they like the Igbo. We've seen that played out, especially during the Lagos State election. But the question is, are we going to see this confrontation between the Yoruba president and the Biafra that are the southeast, demanding whether not just on the Biafra alone, but also on the basis that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped? Is Tinubu going to come and say, I didn't kidnap you, Buhari kidnapped you, we're going to allow... Is Tinubu going to allow the rule of law to play much better than Buhari? All these will be known when we know the next, SGF, or the AGF rather, the Attorney General of the Federation. Because Abubakar Malami, the Fulani man, has refused to allow the judiciary to play when it comes to the case of Nnamdi Kanu. All they have now is 26 days. After 26 days, the new president will take over. Well, Emma Sokwe, there's nothing the Biafra can do. When they start, it will bring the civil war that everybody is running away from. Fact is what we discuss here. We don't talk with emotion. Nigeria will face that civil war if there's no dialogue. There will be war if dialogue is not taken care now. The situation in Sudan is because nobody wants to sit on the round table. If Tinubu gets in and Nnamdi Kanu's situation is not allowed to go through the court process properly, then we should expect once again, Tinubu himself is a criminal. We know that. There's no doubt. We've talked about his son, and I'll be traveling to where the house was purchased. I'm talking about Sheyi Tinubu. Biafra civil war that occurred in 1967 will not be the same should we go into another civil war. We don't pray for such. War is devastating. War creates a lot of problems. But with the current situation of things in Nigeria right now, the El Zaki Zaki is asking that their passport for their leader be returned back, even though the court has said release him and allow him his passport, but the AGF under Buhari has refused to do so. But one thing I know is the war that Nigerians are running away from, we are telling the international community we should prepare for as many crises, because if this crisis is meant to be stopped, the current plight of things in Nigeria right now means that Nigeria must be given the indigenous right. This indigenous right is very, very important. But because the federal government of the Fulani government of Buhari, and this is why I'm saying that we are now having a Yoruba president. We have the Biafra that are the Igbos that are saying that they don't want to be part of Nigeria. Is Tinubu going to allow a referendum by allowing that to be added into the constitution? Or Tinubu is going to say the same thing, that since he's not the one since he's not the one in care of the constitution, we should allow the senators and the House of Reps that is well dominated by the northern part of Nigeria to allow the referendum clause into the constitution. Is there going to be confrontation between the Yoruba president and the Igbos? Let's first go back to what the Arewa said few days ago. What is the Arewa saying on Nnamdi Kanu? The Northerners have slammed the Onhaise and condemned the call for IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu's release. Why are they scared? Why are they bothered? Why are they concerned about the release of Nnamdi Kanu? Why is it that the Nnamdi Kanu situation is something of discussion? Once again, the Northerners slam on Onhaise, condemn the call for IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu's release. We are 25 minutes before the end of the program. I say thank you so much to each and every one of you that have joined us. And I say this is again
UK. Starr Radio UK.
As we go through the last segment at 8:30, the program comes to an end, and that means we'll be coming back again next week Wednesday. But make sure you join me from 11 o'clock Monday to Friday, where we discuss news headline from Nigeria, which we're going to be having as well. Tinubu president. Tinubu president. The situation we know from 29th of May. But as we are still discussing the Biafra situation, why is the Arewa community in the southern Nigeria has faulted the call for the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, by President Muhammadu Buhari? Why? Kilodeti, the Northerners, the Arewa group, are saying no, because they are also have their own reason. And everybody has their reason, whether, we might disagree with Arewa, but the Arewa believe that the Nnamdi Kanu instigated the killings of their people in the southeast part of Nigeria. Let's go further. According to Musa Saidu, the Arewa leader stated this in a statement on Tuesday, yesterday. But the President General of Onhaise Indigbo, Emmanuel Iwanyanwu, had on Sunday last week urged President Muhammadu Buhari to release Nnamdi Kanu before the end of his tenure. But the leader of the Arewa group said the call was wrong. What is your take on that? Do you think that the Arewa are right to say to the Onhaise, we can't allow Nnamdi Kanu to be released because Nnamdi Kanu, according to them, has crime against him and he must answer those crimes at the court of law in Nigeria? The leader of the Arewa group said the call was wrong. These are some of their reasons, so that we try to balance the situation. We are not biased here. We just want to give out the information so that everyone can then understand that the unity that we are all expecting in Nigeria will take a very, very long time before that unity. There's no reason for killings of each other, whether you are Hausa, whether you are Igbo or Yoruba. There's no reason for that. But because all this intertwine that has been going on in Nigeria has made Nigeria to be what it is today. Now, let's talk about why the Arewa group are saying that we cannot allow Buhari to release Nnamdi Kanu because of some of these atrocities. Where were they when Kanu was leading the IPOB militant to kill innocent people in the southeast? Not only in the southeast, so many members of the Arewa community were also attacked in Port Harcourt and nobody said anything. This is coming from Mr. Saidu, stated. We have the figures. We have the photos of those killed in cold blood. There's no reason for us killing each other. And this is the honest truth that says and indicates that if we could not take back Nigeria to the regional government in the last 23 years of democracy, how much more time do we need before Nigeria can at least leave the situation room where it has found itself? Nígbà tá a bá lè kúrò nínú Nigeria pẹ̀lú òṣèlú tó ń ṣe láti 23 years pé kó tẹ̀ gbé padà lọ sí pé kó restructure. Níjọ́ wo ló máa wá restructure Nigeria? Ẹ̀yin tí ẹ máa ń sọ pé wọ́n máa gbé wa padà lọ sí regional government ní ọdún wo, ṣé ní eléyìí tí ìjọba Tinubu fẹ́ wọlé ni? And these are all the reasons on the table that need to be discussed without anyone carrying any weapon to kill each other. There's no need for anybody to have been killed if the Arewa are saying that they have the evidence of photos of people killed in cold blood. There was no reason for that as well. And we got to be honest. Human beings should not be killing each other. But because of the selfish interest of certain groups of people, international community that create havoc within Nigeria itself, these are reasons why we are saying, we must prepare for all contingency as the new government comes in. As Buhari leaves in 26 days, quote and unquote, if all goes without any petition tribunal upturning the result, because I am not the judges, I don't know what is going to happen. I can only sit here and speculate. But in terms of as Nigeria is going through this turbulence, we hope the pilot can balance the situation. Buhari could not balance the situation. Is Tinubu going to balance the situation? I'm asking again. Sheikh Tinubu, the incoming president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, will he be able to at least balance the situation between the Biafra agitation, the Yoruba agitation, the El Zakizaki, the Middle Belt, because we know that the Middle Belt are also campaigning for the exit of Nigeria. I don't know where the Hausa stand because there's difference between Hausa and the Fulanese. And this is why we are saying that the situation room in Nigeria, if we do not come on this beautiful round table and kabarawa soro and decide a time frame whether a referendum clause will be included in the constitution, and then allow those that wants to leave without any bloodshed, then we must prepare for the worst case scenario. It might not be the kind of conversation that you are comfortable with, but we got to be honest with each other. Nigeria is already in a turbulent situation. Even Tinubu himself knows that as much as he's coming on board, he has a lot of enemies behind him. So the Arewa might be right in their own argument that Biafra or IPOB have killed as many of their people. Then if that is the situation, the IPOP say they don't want to be part of Nigeria. So the Arewa will not have any more confrontation, because if you refuse to allow Biafra to go, we will continue to have confrontation between the Arewa community and the Igbo community, just as we will have the same situation where the Yoruba are saying that the Igbo are now taking a much of their land. And we saw that a property was destroyed in Ejigbo. I am not here to defend those properties, but I am here to question those that gave the authorization for those properties to be built in the first place. Are those Yoruba people or Igbo people? Because I'm sure that Lagos is no man's land, is just for the Yoruba people. That literally means that somebody within the local government gave the go-ahead for those houses to be built in Ajao. But one day, the government says, no, this is no area to build. And you can't build under high tension and so many areas that's got to do with flood. But my question to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is, who gave the order for those houses to be built? Is it during your own first year of the 4-year tenure? Is it Ambode? Is it Babajide Fashola? Somebody gave the order for those property to be built in a Ajao estate. It does not matter whether the property is owned by the Igbo, by the Yoruba, by the Hausa. This is part of the corrupt system that we've been talking about. Mokile nkan si Ìyá Ọlájùmọ̀kẹ́.
The best radio show.
Broadcasting worldwide online 24/7.
Who gave the planning permission for that Ajao houses? So you can see that Nigeria is in a turbulent situation room, but we can still maybe have a proper operation and decide. Because if the Igbo are saying that I don't want to live with the Arewa people, does not mean that they have to chase away all the Arewa. The Arewa will just have to listen to the new rules under a new nation. It's as simple as that. I'm sure some of you understand that you cannot just get a ticket from Muritala Mohammed Airport and say you are coming to UK. You must be joking, because you need a visa or you need to have a resident permit or a British passport. You cannot just buy a ticket and say, I'm going to England. And this is why we must come on the round table, so that situation like this where the Arewa community are saying that the Biafra have attacked them and killed them in cold blood is not going to happen. But if everybody is avoiding all this situation room, then Sudan, Oyajuni Iwajua. Like I said, we are just here to review the situation. We are here to talk about it. Nobody wants a war in Nigeria. A war will be devastating. It's going to be human catastrophe. But the current situation of things in Nigeria right now means that crisis can uphold at any time. Because is Tinubu going to be able to curtail the Fulani terrorists? We have different kind of terrorist organization in Nigeria. We have terrorists at the port authority. Maybe Tinubu will be able to remove the Fulani man there. I don't know who he's going to put there. And then maybe they can change the structure so that when I send my car home, I am not being marginalized, even though I am meant to pay. Because those in the northern part of Nigeria are not paying custom duty. You can just literally drive a car from Niger and then the car gets into Nigeria and nobody pays custom. But if I'm bringing a car from UK or from Europe, I then end up paying a lot of tax in Apapa, and that money goes to the north when it's divided. This is not a society. And these are all the reasons in the world we are saying to our people that we cannot live together. Mace Good, welcome to the program. So because the ego put every one of us in problem, we must remain enemies of each other. Because the ego put us in problem, we must advise them. Are we kidding in 2023? You must be in a different world. So because the Igbo, destabilize the regional government, that literally means that we must marginalize them for the rest of the time that we're going to live together as Nigerians. Are we serious? I'm not buying that cock and bull story. I don't buy that cock and bull story. I've told you so many times. Keep that to yourself. Keep that bigot to yourself. I don't buy that. I live in a society where we have different people, different ethnics, and I'm not sure I will be here sitting here and then pointing finger at countries that I might disagree with. So when we come and talk about that the Igbo destroy Nigeria, so does that mean we should marginalize the Igbo? Then why not let them go? Why should we keep them together in a society where we don't love them? Why are we fooling each other? The war that Nigerian is avoiding is just around the table. Because, in 2023, somebody's still talking about the Igbo destroyed the regional government, coming out of some of these, buffoons, Yoruba people that are out there. I am a Yoruba man, and I'm very proud to be a Yoruba man. Let the Igbo people go if we don't want to live together with them. Let them go so that we can control the border, just like the UK government have controlled the border. And that literally means that people that want to come in from France have been blocked, and they are not going to allow them to get into UK. And then if you get into UK, we send you back to Rwanda, where it's much better for you. Why is the UK doing that? Because the UK government wants to control their immigration borders. So somebody like these, nonentic that is out there putting this kind of comment, you can tell that these are people that I don't even know what part of the world he is. Because if he's living here in UK, I'm sure you cannot even use those that are gays and lesbians and talk to them anyhow. So you now want to talk to the Igbo people, maybe because you are not in Nigeria, but when you live in UK, you respect the law of this country. If somebody is a gay, it is a right that you respect them at workplace. Do you know that you cannot discriminate people that are gay in this country? You cannot discriminate people that are lesbian in this country. And then you want to discriminate the Igbo people in 2023 because they disagree with our views, because they destroy the regional government. You must be something wrong in your head. The Igbo are saying that they don't want to be part of Nigeria anymore. Allow everybody to decide whether they want to be Nigerians or not. But by trying to live together, then we should expect the worst case scenario. Because some of these Yoruba people that are out there that are keep coming back to tell us about the regional government, about the first school, you never talk about what the British did by taking our forefathers into the slave trade. So you want to point finger at the Igbo as far back as 1960. What about all the damages that the British did before 1960? So we should forget about all that. You must be living in a different world entirely. And this is why I say, the woto where we run from, it go happen. Bakari Hafiz, welcome to the program. I am just about 10 minutes before I'm going to be ending this live transmission on the Starr Radio UK. It is the Wednesday, the 3rd of May 2023. And I say once again to the Koiki family and everyone that have lost, one person or the other, whether it's a family member, is an uncle, is a brother, is a nephew, whether somebody have just died today, we are wishing them that their soul will continue to rest in peace. 41 years that my dad died, about 41 years ago, but his spirit is still out there defending and fighting for all his children. Tinubu, Bala Blue. I hope Tinubu will be able to sustain and allow freedom of speech. Buhari at some point could not survive it. Buhari actually shut down the Twitter for 6 months. I look forward to how Tinubu is going to handle as many of the conversation. Tinubu will have to be very, very careful because freedom of speech must be allowed. Nigerians must be allowed, to decide how and what they want to say. Tinubu already told us that he doesn't like Twitter. I hope Tinubu will be ready. Bala blue, blue blah, bala bala blue. Once again, as I leave you, let's quickly look at some of the headline quickly coming out of Nigeria today. Is a big headline, and let me talk about those headlines. I can't wait for Woto Woto. Comrade Plan B say he cannot wait for Woto Woto.
The best radio show.
Once again, a very good evening and welcome to the program. Okay, that is the other phone that is vibrating there. Anyway, as we are winding down slowly, Nigeria can't escape the breakup. It does not matter how long it takes. We can't continue to be ignorant in 2023. Even if you believe in your mind that the British hasn't done the damage by taking our forefathers, but you want to put all the blames of Nigeria on the Igbo people, then you must also have to visit a psychiatric hospital. Let's go straight and read some of the news headlines as I have them this evening. Thank you so much, everyone that have joined us. It's been a very beautiful program again as we get ready again for next week. But before then, I have to give you some of those news headlines quickly as we have them. There's a lot happening in Nigeria. There's a lot happening around the world. The focus on this Shegun Yovo. Yes, so some people need to go to psychiatric hospital. There is a fire. There is a fire at the Zenith Bank. I've just got the news here. There's a fire at the Zenith Bank in Ajose, Adiogun Street, Victoria Line, Lagos. This is just 17 minutes ago. There is a fire. We hope situation will be under control, and that is coming from the news network as well. Also, if you go on our page, the sister broadcast on Koiki Oduduwa, a pathetic condition of a patient toilet of Dapo Abiodun government home. Oh my God! Boy, what is this? Is this a toilet? Wow! In 2023, that hospital needs to be dropped all the way down. This is the hospital in Ogun State. You should go and watch the video quickly. We're going to upload it very soon on our YouTube, but for now, it's currently on our sister broadcast. Toilet in Niagbara, Kushima Urara. Another video of Fulani terrorists killed 40, including children in Benue State. You can see why I say Woto Woto is loading. 40 people, including children, killed in Benue State. Wow. Once again, thank you so much to everyone that have joined us. We appreciate you. Even if, panic as gunmen behead Assistant Superintendent of Police in Abia State. Once again, there's a panic as the gunmen have beheaded the Assistant Superintendent of Police. Wow. What is going on in this world? I'm trying to get the newspaper headline. Let's take those as well. Once again, to my father, Alhaji Omotayo Mojid Koiki, may your soul continue to rest in peace. Happy birthday to everyone celebrating. Happy birthday, to our beautiful mother, a mother-in-law celebrating her birthday today. We say shout out to you and happy birthday, mommy. Happy birthday, mommy. And if you're celebrating your birthday as well, some of you in the month of May, my birthday, I hope you are preparing for my birthday ahead. My birthday is coming very soon. Protest rocks Jos and Abuja highway over killings in Plateau State. OPC member beats Ondo Prince to death during a funeral. Imagine people fighting during a funeral. OPC member. What a very sad news. And again, Buhari, we were able to protect the right of journalists. Say Baba. Say Baba.
The best radio show.
This Say Baba can lie you. Say Baba say we were able to protect journalists. Say Baba. Anyway, you're going very soon. I'm sure your name will be left and we'll start talking about the Jagaban, Jagarudi, and all kind of names as well. Also, there was a protest around the Central Bank headquarters as people are demanding Emefiele to be arrested. Emefiele is going to go anyway when Tinubu gets in. I won't be surprised that Tinubu is going to tell them to investigate Emefiele, especially as Emefiele wanted to destroy Tinubu during the election with the Naira change as well. Maize Gold, thank you so much. And, Aro Le Odudua, thank you so much for joining us as well. Tinubu will give the Igbo Indigbo Republic. Okay, We'll see how that goes. They want Biafra. They don't want Indigbo. Which one be Indigbo? Eh? This our brother. You like Wahala. Which one be Indigbo Republic? They want Biafra. Tinubu cannot force anybody to remain in Nigeria. So let me quickly give you some of the headlines as I have them. New Telegraph, supplementary poll, Adamawa arrested. Remember that one announced the result when he was not meant to be the one to announce it. Anti-Igbo comment, I am shocked Tinubu hasn't reprimanded Ononuga, Bode George. Hey, Bode George, go and keep quiet, Jare. All these elder statements that are so as useless as tissue paper. Bode George, go and keep quiet. Kaduna, massive protests rock Zango Kafa local government demanding end to killings. That is not going to happen. This is coming from New Nigeria. So we're going through some of the headlines. I think I saw something there as well. Okay. Governor Sule approved the sale of government quarters to civilians. 419. They're probably selling. Stop the genocide, ethnic cleansing in Ayapta land. In killings that is going on in Benue State. So much killing. Adamawa police quiz, detain reg, INEC commission, Senate to probe passport renewal. Do you know that in Nigeria, you can change your date of birth with even your passport that you got already? What a criminal country Nigeria is. 57.4 million BVN are linked to the bank. Thank you so much once again. And this is coming. This is coming from the Nation. I think I'm going to take one more from the Vanguard and I'm going to take over and let the producer take control from here in the studio. No regret declaring Binani winner, says Adamawa Red. Ikere Madu, the reps and ECOWAS are telling the British government to temper justice on Friday. Sudan, the second batch of Nigerian evacuees arrive the port. That is coming. Abia Assembly boys as two speaker emerge. Nigeria na cruise. Anyway, this is how far I can go tonight. And I would like to say thank you. We'll be back again, next week, Wednesday, when we're going to be discussing more other issues. Like I said, the last Wednesday before the end of the May, we will open the phone line. You'll be able to tell us, what you think about President Muhammadu Buhari for the 2.5 hours program. I'm going to open the phone line, the WhatsApp, and the direct number, and then you will be able to. Maybe we might bring people in through the Skype. If you want to join us on the Skype on that day, remember to have the Starr Radio UK on Skype so that we can have a lot of conversation. That is going to be the 23rd. That is about some few more days. That will be the last Wednesday before Tinubu inauguration is going to come up. Once again, let me give you the actual date. Keep that in the record. Once again, May's go. Thank you so much. So that will be the 24th of May. We're going to have a full discussion of President Muhammadu Buhari in terms of whether he has done the right thing or he has done whatever he thinks is best for Nigeria. As I leave you now, let's go back and play my last track for this evening, which is going to be, Janet as well. I love her so much. We can say thank you to her for the good job she has done. Orile me. Shout out to everyone. Yoruba Nation, no going back. Yoruba Nation for life. And that is my position. Self-determination is not a crime. Self-determination is our right. And that right must be respected by Bola Tinubu as is coming as well. A lot of protests ahead and so much letters, rallies, everything, as we say to Tinubu, prepare for the Yoruba people. It doesn't matter whether you're a Yoruba man.
The best radio show. The best radio show. The best radio show.
We'll be back again next week. Have a very good evening and bye for now. Next week, we'll be back Wednesday, same time, 6 p.m., same program, Niger Voices on Starr Radio UK. Shout out to everyone out there. Bye for now.
The best radio show. The best radio show.
Thank you so much, everyone. Bókè gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé ibi tá a máa rí mọ́ ní àṣálẹ́ yìí ni. Wow, it's been a long day as usual, but we give thanks. Arole, o ti ń dá wàhálà lẹ́ńbẹ̀, my brother. My brother, oní wàhálà. Arole Odùduwà ti ń dá wàhálà lẹ́ńbẹ̀ yẹn o. Arole ti ń dá wàhálà lẹ́ńbẹ̀ yẹn Ọlọ́run. Ẹ̀yin àtàwọn Biafra. Ẹni Tinubu máa fún wọn ní Ndigbo. Ṣé Ndigbo lọ́nà àwọn fẹ́ ni? Wọ́n náà fẹ́ Biafra ẹ̀ sọ Ndigbo. Ṣàlàfíà lẹ́wà. Àwọn fámílì nǹkan bẹ̀. Ìyá yìí tó gẹ́. All right. Time to wind down now, man. It's been a long day. Wednesday is always a long day for me, man. Yoruba nation, great Yoruba nation, my brother. Mommy wa Starr, Muki. Wike Alagbari, ó ti lọ ń bá Tinubu. Wike ò fẹ́ kọ́ confiscate gbogbo owó tó ti jí nínú River State. Politician, bastard. Ó lágbára. Ẹ̀yin tèmi. Àwọn tí fẹ́ máa múra báyìí lọ. Ìrìnàjò wa tún kọ ẹyọ kan báyìí. Adó ń tẹ̀síwájú. Ọmọ mo kí ogun alẹ́ nǹkan sí o. Jọ̀wọ́ bí ẹni payọ. Nigeria is a mess alone.
The best radio show.
Nigeria is a mess. Nigeria ti mess alone. There's still a lot of people that have, very strong expectation because there's going to be a new Nigeria. Even if I'm not feeling it. We've got a very new Nigeria. I don't know where they're going to find a new Nigeria. Nigeria to disappoint everybody. So better kajeki Nigeria rama party alone. Rama jeki Nigeria party alone. Kama jeki Nigeria party alone. Ṣeré. Àgbákò cha Solomon in Nigeria. Benny, kò sí new I don't know where they're finding that information pé there will be new Nigeria. Kí ló mean by new Nigeria?
Hi guys, this is your friend.
Pé there will be new Ibo ló ti fẹ́ rí new Nigeria. Àṣà tí iṣẹ́ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá mo kí yẹn káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Mo kàn wind down náà nísìnyí máa palẹ̀ mọ́ láti máa lọ. Ibo ló ti fẹ́ rí new Nigeria. I don't understand. Kí ló tó bá ní new Nigeria, kí ló mean by new Nigeria? Ládùúgbò ló ti fẹ́ rí new Nigeria. Ṣé pẹ̀lú constitution Nigeria yẹn? Ẹ̀dá àwọn ọmọ Ìgbò bá tẹ̀ bá ń tẹpá àwọn Ìgbò ló da kinní kan rú. Ṣé kò wá jẹ́ káwọn tiwa kọ́ ní làákàyè so kí a dẹ̀ padà síbi tó máa yẹ gbogbo wa? Àwa dúró sójú kan, a move síwájú, a lọ sẹ́yìn, a lọ sókè, a wà lójú kan. Everybody want live in denial. Lágbára o. So everybody just live in denial. Kò yẹ mọ̀ pé ó kù díẹ̀ nù. Gbogbo tá à ń ṣe nígbà nísìn is the same thing tá I expect kẹ́yìn náà máa ṣe tẹ́ wá wà nílé. You know, there's nothing big here. Just tó bá ti lè understand, tó bá dẹ̀ ní passion tó dẹ̀ wà, you know, tó dẹ̀ pé nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣe ni. That's all. You know, akọ máa intimidate yàn. Wá máa fi sọ̀rọ̀ tán ní radio station Nàìjíríà ọlọ́pàá á ti wá gbé á ti máa wọ ẹ̀kẹ́ òrìn yàn nílé ti fi gbogbo ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo sọ nísìn tí bá yẹ pé Nàìjíríà mo wà ní ilé kan ni máa sùn lálẹ́ bí abẹ́nà republic máa sá lọ. You know, that's yàn ṣayé mọ̀ náà. Kò make sense. Kò make sense o. Sọyìn tiwa tí à ń sọ fún. Ẹ ká shut down everything jàre. A dẹ̀ ń sọ fún yín pé ká wò dáadáa, ká wò ṣe. Ẹni ká má wò ṣe. Ká máa live in denial. All right, ẹ̀yin tèmi. Ilé kókó ń tagbé. Ìrìnàjò mi ṣì pọ̀. Aago 8:30 ló lù nísìn. Títí aago 10 or whatever máa wọlé. Nígbà tí yàbàrà káàkiri. Kí yàn ṣe program tán báyìí nísìn káyẹ̀ máa já láti lọ́lé. Pé kí Fúlàní kan máa pẹ́ kó tó délé. Ṣé life nìyẹn? Adé ń sọ fún yín, ẹ sọ pé ẹ ní àmọ́ tá à ń sọ. Ẹ sọ pé mọ̀mọ́ tí mò ń sọ. Báwo mo ṣe ní mọ̀ tí mò ń sọ? Àmọ́ tá à ń sọ náà. Anyway, close to go broadcast jàre. Ìta ń ṣe ní bíbá. Ìta fẹ́ kẹ́yìn náà máa ṣe nílé nìyẹn. Whatever your skills yẹn òun ni kó máa lò. Àfẹ́ kí ọkàn intimidate ẹ ní láti máa pè ọkàn láàbúrò kẹ máa send owó sí the same thing tá à ń ṣe níbà láfẹ́ kẹ́yìn náà máa ṣe bọ̀ ṣe níbi tí system ti ṣiṣẹ́ olúkálukú kan parọ́ fún rẹ̀ tàbá dẹ̀ wí tàbá bọ̀ ẹni ká keep quiet ìwọ náà wò studio lélẹ̀ nísìn kò sí ọkàn tó bá ti lè mọ tó fẹ́ ṣe the same thing náà ni tó bá yẹ pé ọ́fíìsì tó fi ní àná ọ́fíìsì Nàìjíríà máa tan generator táwọn kú mi ti ń tàn látijọ́ ẹ̀ làwọn kan ṣì ń tàn. a ń sọ fáwọn èèyàn ní kàkà wọn ní mo àti wá jẹ pancake mi tán báyìí kí ni màá jẹ tí bá ń lọlé báyìí. àwọn kan dẹ̀ ní kí n má jẹ pancake ẹ̀ tán lẹ́ẹ̀kan mo lè ti lọ jẹ tán. kí la máa ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ yìí báyìí? mo ti jẹ pancake mi tán báyìí Ọlọ́run. ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà mo ti sọ títí mo ti jẹ pancake mi tán báyìí sọ fáwọn èèyàn wa Azeez wàá ṣeré jàre my brother sọ fáwọn èèyàn ká ṣe sùúrù kí gbogbo akájọ da oògùn ká kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ẹ fi kúrò ní Nàìjíríà tó ní làákàyè Nàìjíríà tó ti dead. All right, to my brother Ṣẹ́gun Yove orúnkẹ Kóìkì tó ṣì máa délé tí bá tún ní strength gan máa tún ṣe program ní kàn mí. ọ̀rọ̀ lọ́mọlẹ́gbàá ń jẹ àwọn tó wà nílé ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́wọ̀n máa jẹ àwọn tó fi gbọ́ràn. ẹ̀ ń sọ̀rọ̀ Tinubu ọmọ Tinubu ló wá ra lé wọn almost kìíní kan million sí London nísìn ẹ̀yẹ́ máa pariwo Tinubu bẹ́ẹ̀ máa tọ́ra yín ẹ̀yin tèmi ẹ̀ wòran nísìn. Very back view mi lele sorry back view sorry ṣé àwọn kan tó wrong you know kí system ṣiṣẹ́ you know system wa ti ṣiṣẹ́ kí everything kó wà in place you know internet and need internet lórí internet ìṣe ká máa tán tó ti rip me off ìlú òṣì ìlú tó ti àlákà ìlú tó ti condemn. Nàìjíríà tó ti condemn. Adé ṣe tán àpá gbogbo náà èyí tó bá fẹ́ filẹ̀ àfilẹ̀ ó yẹ kó rí náà nìyẹn mo ti rọ everything na crime scene. All right, tèmi jàre shout out to everyone. ẹ̀yin tèmi lórí MixLR mo fi back view yẹn wọ̀nyí níbí báyìí that's the back view. Yeah, that's the back view. So that's our back view. You can see there. So that's the back view. All right, shout out to you all. Bye for now. Me láti máa move. I have to kúrò mẹ́ before 9. I'll jump for the public transport. Ilé kọ̀ọ̀kan tá gbé. All right, so it's ready. All right, so ilé ló kù nísìn. So I just show you the back view briefly. So that's what the back view looks like. So you can see the back view. That's our back view. You can see. You know, that's what we are saying. That's the basic things. But I should on Nigeria and say, look, while I'm lake. Shut up. Peace out. Look, I'm a laying kiri. Soja máa lé ẹ kiri. Gbogbo ẹ máa léyàn kiri. Bó ṣe bú Lai Mohammed ẹni sìn. Ilé mi kọ́ ni máa sùn lálẹ́. Aláì. Lai Mohammed máa ní kọ́ lọ. Ó máa ní kọ́ lọ wá mi ni. Á ní kọ́ wá mi ṣáá ni. Aláì. Á ní kọ́ lọ wá mi ṣáá ni. So, all right, ẹ̀yin tiwa. So, àníri jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ṣe rí hàn. That's a system. Sí àwọn tó lé ń bẹ̀ kókò tí understand the techniques bí nǹkan ṣe ń work ni sí àwọn tó lé ní gbogbo gadget kò ṣe gbogbo ẹni máa ń lò akọ́mọ̀ tó máa lò ń bẹ̀ ni ọ̀rọ̀ ajá rẹ̀ ṣẹ́gun gbogbo ẹnu kí pẹ́fẹ́ náà ìlú òṣì ìlú tó ti condemn Nàìjíríà tó ti condemn ẹ sọ fáwọn èèyàn wọn ní kò tí condemn tí Nàìjíríà bá ti máa condemn nǹkan. All right, so YouTube gadget is equal. All right, let me shut this down. Bye for now, everybody. All right, into our remix LRO. All right, last one. Allow Baba Odaro and the rest of you. Comrade Plan B Odaro. Ìjọba ń sọ pé òun wá ní Nàìjíríà kan waste time ààrẹ ní Nàìjíríà kọ́ old Nàìjíríà ló máa rí old Nàìjíríà ló máa rí kò ṣe new Nàìjíríà old wà á rí old Nàìjíríà ló máa rí kò ṣe new Nàìjíríà. All right, peace out. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀yin tèmi lórí YouTube. I gotta shut down now. Fẹ́ máa tẹ̀síwájú. Ó dàbọ̀.